This is the story of Ramayah Griffin, a joyful 20-year-old with a passion for creating TikTok and YouTube videos, often with her boyfriend of 4 years, 22-year-old Adeline Atongwa. The birth of their daughter marked a turning point as their relationship deteriorated and ultimately came to an end. On one fateful day, Ramayah would be discovered dead with 12 gunshot wounds, and her former boyfriend, Adeline Atongwa, would be charged with her murder. How could a couple, once seemingly enveloped in love, spiral into such a devastating and violent end? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 20-year-old Ramayah, a resident of Pittsburgh, was often referred to as a beacon of light and a shining star in the lives of those who knew her. Her presence was marked by her unmistakable, wide smile that she carried with her everywhere. It was a rare moment to see her without that joyful expression. Ramayah was creative and talented and possessed a caring nature that impacted everyone she met, providing support and kindness generously. Ramayah had many friends. Everyone loved being around her. Ramayah was a talented hairstylist. She had a passion for doing braids and installing wigs. Ramayah was also into fashion. She posted pics online in various outfits as well as did clothing hauls on her YouTube channel. Ramayah was in a relationship with 22-year-old Adeline Atongwa. Atongwa was originally from Nairobi, Kenya, and now resided in Pittsburgh. The two were together 4 years, and the two were very much in love. Ramayah expressed her love for Atongwa in TikTok videos, and the two could be seen doing TikToks together. The chemistry between the two was evident in their online videos, and the couple even started a YouTube channel.
What do you have in common, and what don't you have in common? Go first.
I don't know. I don't think we have a lot in common, but we have some things in common. You go.
I would say the things we have in common, we both like shoes. We both like shoes and cars, I guess. So, but he's more of a car person. What don't we have in common? We're not from the same country, yeah, I guess.
We didn't grow up exactly. What is it called? I don't know.
On to the next question. What are our plans for the future?
Money, money, money.
Someday married, own a house, have kids.
All houses.
Have businesses. Next question is favorite and least favorite thing about each other.
She get on my nerves all the time, most of the time. So I don't even know.
So you went for the least favorite thing first?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about me?
You like going out most of the time, so that gives us something to do. So I like that.
Well, my least favorite thing is that he don't like going out and he don't like doing stuff. I mean, sometimes we go out and stuff, but sometimes he's lazy. Like today, we were supposed to get up early.
What did?
We did, and then somebody went back to sleep.
Because I only slept for an hour. You kept waking me up.
At some point, the couple would be expecting their first child, but sadly, after the birth of their daughter, their relationship would end. The two would go on to co-parent their daughter and would seemingly have a civilized co-parenting relationship. Ramayah embraced her role as a mother, and she made it a priority to love and care for her daughter, making sure her daughter was well taken care of, but sadly, tragedy would strike this young mother in an unimaginable way. On February 9, 2024, at about 4:30 in the afternoon, authorities were called in response to a shooting in the 5400 block of Youngridge Drive. Upon arrival, officers discovered the body of 20-year-old Ramayah. She had been shot 12 times and was declared deceased at the scene. In the room they found 16 spent shell casings, and, in a room close by, was Ramayah's 1-year-old daughter. She was fortunately unharmed.
Ramayah Griffin was a mother to a 1-year-old daughter. We're told she was shot 12 times in her own home and in front of that child.
She was our age, and it's horrible that there's people in the world who can do stuff like that and just be fine.
Said Alden Apartments on Young Ridge Drive in Baldwin say police didn't find her body until several hours after she died.
Investigators interviewed neighbors and determined that she was likely shot around 3 a.m. This is when some neighbors reported hearing gunshots, while many of the neighbors didn't hear anything despite the close proximity of the units. Because Ramayah's body was not discovered until 4:30 p.m., it was determined that her 1-year-old daughter spent over 13 hours in the unit with her deceased mother alone. One neighbor tearfully recounted hearing a baby crying for an extended period of time and feeling uneasy about it and wondering how anyone could leave a baby in that situation alone. Through multiple investigative techniques, such as interviews with witnesses and analysis of surveillance footage, detectives identified the individual accountable for the shooting as 22-year-old Adeline Atongwa, Ramayah's ex-boyfriend and the father of her child. They wanted to speak with Atongwa right away and started the process of locating him. Atongwa, who works as a long-distance truck driver, was en route to North Carolina when the police reached out to him. He mentioned that he had been with Ramayah and the baby on the morning of February 8 before departing that evening for a scheduled delivery trip to North Carolina. He stated that he reached Cheswick around 7 p.m. to collect his freight but did not depart until approximately 10:45 p.m. After loading his trailer, he took the load to his residence in Monroeville, where he left it. Subsequently, he drove Ramayah and her child to their home in Baldwin, went back to Monroeville to retrieve his truck, and then continued on his journey. GPS records from the trucking company showed the truck spent about 10 minutes at Ramayah's apartment around 12:10 a.m., arrived in Monroeville just before 1 a.m., and then was parked in McKees Rocks for 2.5 hours. Investigators asked Atongwa why he hadn't mentioned that he parked at McKees Rocks for 2.5 hours. He said he'd intended to stop for gas at a speedway, but discovered he couldn't use the company credit card there. He then pulled over because his truck was having issues, and then he took a nap. Atongwa's claims about truck issues and his inability to use a company card at Speedway were contradicted by the absence of calls or texts on his phone, and the gas station did allow the use of the card. Using license plate reader technology, investigators focused on a Hyundai Sonata with stolen plates, tracked from McKees Rocks to South Hills and back, on the night of the reported gunshots. The car, owned by Ramayah's mother and accessible to Ramayah and Atongwa, had been tampered with around 2:15 a.m. on the murder morning. It was later found with a mismatched license plate and gunshot residue inside. Authorities had all the evidence they needed to arrest Atongwa for Ramayah's murder. It appeared he carefully planned the murder of Ramayah and tried to cover his tracks by pretending he was at work and using her own mother's car during the crime. He was taken into custody by Allegheny County detectives. He will remain at county jail to await arraignment on charges of criminal homicide and endangering the welfare of a child.
A young mother murdered inside her own home, and now police say they've caught her killer. Officers just arrested Adeline Atongwa. He is the father of Ramayah Griffin's 1-year-old daughter. Family members tell us they are sickened over this.
We treated him like family, like he was at the family dinners, and anytime there was a birthday, he was there.
David Atongwa is here at the Allegheny County Jail tonight, but earlier this evening, he was next door being arraigned on that murder charge.
When I got the news, I was just like, just a big sigh of relief.
Ramayah Griffin describes how she felt when she learned police had made an arrest.
We're happy that they found who did it, but, we're still grieving the loss of my sister.
This man, 22-year-old Adeline Atongwa, is behind bars tonight. He's accused of shooting and killing Ramayah Griffin, leaving their 1-year-old daughter alone for 13 hours.
We treated him like family, like he was at the family dinners, and anytime there was a birthday, he was there.
County police say Atongwa was identified through witness interviews and surveillance video before being arrested this afternoon.
He wanted us to find her like that. He wanted us to find my niece soiled in her diaper and my sister lifeless on her bed.
While Mariah and the rest of her family come to grips with the loss of her sister.
And this is a little pin of her.
She says she's
Yes.
thankful.
Yes.
Thankful to the community for support, police for their work, but most of all, for her niece, a piece of her sister, left behind.
Ramayah's friends and loved ones were devastated at the news of her death. To find out it was the father of her child was an even bigger shock because Atongwa was very close to their family. He often ate dinner with them and attended family events. Ramayah's sister, Mariah, said that Ramayah and Atongwa had been together about 4 years, but were no longer romantically involved after their daughter was born. She stated that the two were co-parenting and that while the relationship appeared civil, she found Atongwa to be a shady person. "What happens behind closed doors really don't get spoken of much," she said. She stated that there were some things that she heard that would make her eyebrows raise. Friends and loved ones were shocked to learn that Ramayah's baby's father was arrested for her murder because he attended Ramayah's funeral prior to his arrest. Ramayah's sister noticed that he kept to himself, sat down, and didn't say anything during the funeral. Family and friends gathered at the Stowe Rocks High School football field, the high school Ramayah graduated from, to honor her life. Loved ones vow to make sure Ramayah's daughter is taken care of after her mother's passing. Etongwa has not admitted to the murder, and therefore the motive of this killing is currently unknown. This case is ongoing. What happened to Ramayah is unimaginable. She was only 20 years old and had her entire life ahead of her. She should have been allowed to live her life, and she should have been able to see her daughter grow up. My condolences to her friends and family. She should be here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.